live.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Dave Wilson, Results Staffing and Social Media. We'll be right back. Now, come on. You got to like that intro. You have to like it. Come on.
Do you like how we both have our arms folded? He asked me for a picture, and I was like, ooh, I have one that's have my arms folded. We'll both look super, professional.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Dave Wilson, and everybody knows Raquel.
Not everybody. Not
everybody, but
not everyone.
She's going to be co-hosting a show twice a week, and we're excited to have her because she's just top notch of Chief Excitement Officer of True to Your Branding.
Yes.
And today we're going to be
having our first interview. I was your first interview on LinkedIn Live, David. And so this is going to be my first interview with my good friend, Joe Wilson. So I feel honored. This is such a special moment for me.
All right. Well, first I'm going to start with the 30-second story why I'm wearing this on my head.
Yes, it's a public service announcement for everybody to not walk and text, and not walk and text me, especially.
Trust me. So Monday I was walking. I wanted to go down to the Delaware River, where I always go behind my house, and go down to the river and go down the hill and listen to music. So when I was talking about Raquel about us doing a show, I text Sharp Dressed Man, I think it was, the song.
No, you text. We were texting back and forth about songs for the intro or something. And then you sent me Nickelback. You remind me.
Yeah, it was ZZ Top song though. See, no, I'm not that crazy yet.
I don't know. All I know is I just remember texting you, are you a Nickelback fan?
Yes.
And then it's silence.
At that moment, my body decided to fall and roll and tumble, probably 20 yards down the cliffside area of the river. And then from there, instead of going to the left, I dropped off a cliff about 15 foot, smashed, landed on my head, staples from one end to the other. 20 firefighters later trying to figure out a way to get up the hill and get me to that helicopter, and take Jefferson in Philadelphia, which I want to thank them. But Raquel's right. Do not text and walk along a river, because you're going to take I told you about that. You're going to take a little fall and you're going to be like, whoa, what the hell just happened? So that's my story.
Yeah. And not only that, the fact that you actually still managed to call me that night to tell me what had happened and that you were coherent. I was like, what? And then you sent me a picture the next day and I was like, ooh.
I know. Joe,
I sent it to you, Joe.
Can I clear something up here first though, David? Are you an actual Nickelback fan?
Yes, I do like Nickelback, but Nickelback sang a song from ZZ Top, Sharp Dressed Man, and he did a great version of it. And that's what I sent her, and that's why she sent Nickelback. That's all I remember.
Fair enough. I think you're in the world minority of Nickelback fans, but I understand the song. I don't know. I haven't heard of Nickelback's remake of it, but the original ZZ Top Sharp Dressed Man is a fantastic song. So I wouldn't mess with that, but hey,
I know.
This is what happens when we listen to Nickelback, people. I think that's the message.
You tumble down a
I am. I'm still trying to recover from all this. It's been a long week and trying to recover, and I got to get back into this. But so why don't we start right out? Raquel, why don't you introduce the guest?
Yay. Joe? Okay, so Joe Wilson, you can see his name right there. Now, Joe is the creator of the SocialCoach App. Did you hear that, folks? He created an app, where you can go to the App Store and Google Play and download it. I think that's freaking so cool. And Joe and I connected. I wanted to say it was during COVID. Yeah,
March, I think it was March or April.
Yeah, I do remember that he was sent from the heavens for me. It's the heavens parted. I will not lie, because I was having a conversation with my brand strategist, and she was pretty much giving me a hard time because let's just be honest, it's really hard for me when it comes to business to ask for the sale. Like, I'm bad at that. I give a lot of value away for free and all of it. And she's just like, Raquel, you got to get clients. Like, you can't just, la-di-da-di-da. And I was like, all right. And it was funny because I told her, I'm like, well, I have a call right after you. And I don't know, this could be a client. Because Joe, when you reached out to me, you were very vague about it. You just said, hey, I created an app and I just want to get your opinion. It was something to the effect that I had no clue where it was going. And so I thought maybe you would have been one of my clients. So I was like, wish me luck. And then we get on the call and you start explaining. And I just remember going, okay, this is exactly what I need for my business. So he literally was sent from the heavens.
It is.
Wow.
Joe, what brought you into this? What got you into this part, Joe? What made you want to make the app?
Yeah, make an app. Who wants to do that?
Yeah, I'll tell you, it is definitely not for the faint of heart. And that's something that I've learned over the past year of making this. And it's not me. I'm not a developer, but so we've got a great dev team and a lot of people supporting, like Raquel and many others that are making this happen. So I'm just kind of the glue that's trying to hold everything together. But so don't be too impressed, but don't also make an app. It's like, unless you're crazy, which I think I might be a little bit crazy, but it's a lot of fun. It's also fun. But really, I mean, the reason why we created Social Coach is we recognized, I come from the mortgage and the real estate technology world and been to too many conferences for mortgage loan officers and tech companies and things like that, where just started to realize that, and this is even pre-COVID, every loan officer, and it's not just loan officers, but it's real estate agents, recruiters, insurance agents, anybody who sells their products or services to their sphere of influence.
Right.
They know they need to be online, and they all talk about the need to be selling their services online, but they don't know where to begin. They don't know what to do. And they have all these great examples like Raquel and many other influencers in different industries who have really mastered the art of social selling. But they, for one reason or another, are not making the connection between following these influencers and actually doing it. So I thought, well, let's figure out a way to actually connect these two. So that's how Social Coach was born, is trying to find a way to provide influencers like Raquel and others a way to codify their learnings and to help others, because they're all really caring, giving individuals that want to help other people and make a business out of it for them. And then while also helping these individuals who need help building their own personal brand and selling their services online, helping them. And that's where kind of the magic happens, is connecting these two people who are in it for the same thing. They want to help, they want to grow businesses online, to connect the two together.
So you can put any type of industry on the app, right? So it's like whatever Raquel coaches for, or real estate, staffing, you're actually creating yourself for the app, right? Of what your services are.
Absolutely. Yeah. This works for really anybody who needs to create a personal brand to help sell their services online. So I bring up a lot of times, I probably will throughout this time, about mortgage and real estate, because that's just the world I've been obsessed with and been into for the past 15 years. And that's how, Raquel, you and I really connected, is because I started following you because I'd see you speak, and we had a lot of mutual friends. And that's how social media works, is it's friend to friends, right? So that's kind of the world we're starting in, but it really works for basically any industry.
Yeah, I mean, my best friend just signed up, and she's a speech therapist.
Mm-hmm.
And she just wants to have more visibility online. Like, she hasn't been very good with social media. She kind of doesn't really have any direction. She doesn't understand what personal branding means. And even though she's a speech therapist, she doesn't want to essentially use it for her actual business. Like, she has a vision and a goal of where she wants to go with just what she wants to do, and motivating and inspiring people. And so this is a great way for her to kind of start from scratch, if you will, and just start creating content. And so I'm excited because, like most people think that this is for just mortgage industry professionals and real estate professionals. No, it's for everybody.
It is.
So it's actually, you could be giving out advice. Again, I'm in staffing. What would a staffing person like myself, Joe, utilize an app like this for?
Oh, totally. Well, I think a couple things. The limited knowledge I have on recruiting and staffing is you kind of have twofold necessity, right? You need to find companies that will retain you to find their people. Then you also have to find the talent. And as that, and you do a really great job at this, David, is putting yourself out there and making a brand for yourself and becoming an expert in the field. And really, that's what personal branding is. And this is what Raquel teaches people. So I'm just stealing her words a lot here. But, this is so if, for someone in your industry, recruiting or staffing, is you have to get your name out there. You have to be seen as an expert that can place people, but also know how to connect and network with others that will hire and retain you. So if you're a recruiter, you have to build that personal brand of success and also just but you as a person. Because really, I mean, you could work for one of the large recruiting staffing firms, and I might see you hire on Google. But David, I know you're self-employed, you do your own thing, but people come to you because they know you and they like you personally. Right. And that's what really social media comes down to, is not talking about your firm, it's talking about yourself and having people get to know you. And that's what Raquel specifically does a really fantastic job at, is helping you be true to yourself. That the name of the company is True to You branding, right? And that's where this really comes into play, is helping to know, okay, so yeah, everyone can say that. Sure. Okay, be true to you, get your name out there. And that's what a lot of the talking heads are always saying on social media. They're giving you these platitudes of things that you should be doing. But where this comes into play for someone like yourself or anybody who's listening is, okay, now what am I supposed to do right now? What am I supposed to do today? What am I supposed to do tomorrow? And that's what Social Coach does. That's what Raquel can do for you as a recruiter or as a speech therapist or as anybody who wants to grow their personal brand, is she's going to tell you every single day what to do right now in very tactical terms, what to post, and to help you build that personal brand.
And it's going to be a mix of business and personal, because we have found that you have to add that personal element. So I'll have to tell you this, Joe. So David, he had done a post, I want to say maybe several months ago. I was in San Diego, I think. So you had done a post about your mom and about how your office, or you were in your office and you were reminded of your mother, and what you do is a lot of it's making her proud. And I mean, you really had this like vulnerable moment, and I never had seen you do that before on social media. And I have to tell you, I'm assuming it was like one of your most popular posts, because right away, people could then suddenly connect with you and relate to you on an emotional level. And that's where the connection is made. That's where the relationship starts. And that's where I think a lot of it's missing as well, is people think, okay, I am a business person, so I can only post about business. So someone like myself can come in and be like, oh no, today you're not going to post about business. Today you're actually going to talk about, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And for me, it's worked. I mean, I'm a product of what I'm teaching or what I'm coaching you on. It's exactly what I do. And so I'm giving you all the ideas and all the posts that I have done. I'm telling you exactly what day to do what. So it's really cool, because if you actually take the time, you're consistent with it, it's going to work. It really is. It just, people have to understand that it's a lot of consistency. And that's why this app is so great, because I think it's like that habit. What is it? It takes 2 weeks to build a habit. Is that what it is? 14 days?
6 weeks.
Or 6 weeks? Well, okay. Well, I don't know.
I could be wrong.
6 weeks. Come on, 2 to 6 weeks. Yeah. Difference.
I mean, all I'm hoping though is, like, for instance, with this app, it's not something where people sign on and they feel like they're, kind of stuck with it for life, and that's the only way they're going to be able to be successful. For me, I'm hoping that after a month or two that you've learned enough that you can kind of, I can just let you go, wings of a span, and you can go and fly away. I'm not trying to keep you on this app to try to, milk you for whatever. No, it's like, hey, I'm going to really try to help you as much as I can, so that you don't have to stay on here for too long, so you can figure it out on your own.
Well, I realized on LinkedIn now, how they just copy and post everybody else's content and then put an image. I'm sorry, I was like, wait a minute, I did. I saw 3 of them. I was like, they're all the same. They just copy and post it. I was like,
I mean, I know that there's the option of doing that on this app, which is actually pretty cool. Like, let's just say I wanted to do, I don't know, for a holiday, and I had an image, and I just said, hey, just use this image, but share a story along with what this holiday means to you. Then they can use the same image. But as far as like my actual plan, I'm not going to be creating content for you because I want it to be authentic, and I want it to be, yes, granted, there might be quite a few people that might have gotten the same prompt that day where I prompt you to do something. But if you're doing it in your own way, it's no one's going to look at it and be like, wait, I just saw that, or I just heard someone do that, because there's going to be a lot of people that are still really uncomfortable with video, and that's okay. So I kind of remind them on this app too, like, hey, it doesn't have to be a video. You can have a picture of this, but then I remind them as well, like, make sure it's a picture that's pretty, in the sense that it's people want to look at it. Because I think that's another thing too. People don't realize that sometimes they put images up that are blurry, or that they're just not like aesthetically pleasing. So it's little things like that too that people need to understand make a difference.
it is. I like the idea because you're not going to have to go to LinkedIn to see your coach.
No,
You're able to go anywhere with that app. I'm telling you, because let's say you're not driving or walking, and you're reading it. At least you're not signing in on LinkedIn because you're giving that advice. So
yeah, and not only that, like your social media platforms are attached to that app. So you have on your dashboard LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And in that moment, when I tell you, okay, post this, you can create a video and you upload it to those platforms like right then and there. I mean, that's, I think, genius too. So you don't have to worry about going to your different, apps. So then not only do you do that, but then they track it for you. Social app is telling you what kind of engagement your post is getting. And when you sign up, you put your website in. So then it also can see what traffic is being driven to your website. So then it's lead generation. So you get to see, I mean,
you can see some real ROI, right? I mean, that's the real thing here, is that I think one of the hesitations that a lot of people have is, oh, you know what? Facebook doesn't like me, or I just don't get it, right? Like I'm giving up on this because I'm just not good enough for it. And my good friend Jeff Fitzer did a really great, funny post about this the other day. But reality is Facebook doesn't hate you, and you shouldn't hate any of these platforms. You don't like them because you don't understand them, and you don't see the benefit of what your post can do. And that's one of the things that we want to show here for these entrepreneurs is like, look, I'm going to show you real time. Well, you're going to be held accountable by Raquel or by your other coach, and they're going to.
You're going to have to. That's the value right there.
Well, I can tell Joe.
Any coach.
Yeah, like I can say, hey, can you let me know after 2 or 3 days that someone has zero activity on their plan, and then that way I can go ahead and reach out, and I could be like, hey, David, what's going on? Like, come on, well, I don't see any activity. Like, is everything okay? And if they have.
Yeah, not only that too, but we actually show the individual who's being coached, hey, here's how many prompts that you've received, and you've only posted. So like this week, you've gotten 4 prompts so far, and you've only posted 2. Like that accountability is always there on the top front of them. But then so that's the accountability piece, which I think is really important. That's why you hire any coach, is for accountability. The only reason why I go to the gym 3 days a week is because I've got a buddy who goes with me, and if he's going to go without me, if I sleep in, he's going to be pissed that I didn't show up, right?
That makes total sense.
Same thing with this. But the other thing is, sorry to be talking in circles, but the ROI piece is really important too. I think it's the second thing that entrepreneurs are really struggling with social media is they don't see the value of what their posts are. They don't know how to track and understand like where the leads are actually coming from. And that's one of the things that we do with Social Coach. And one of the things that, as you subscribe to Raquel's service here, is that on the app, you're going to see how many leads you've created from your social media activity. And so we're going to assign a dollar value to it based on your conversion metrics. So if you know how much money you make on an average transaction, how many leads it takes to get to that closing, we can show you how many leads we're generating and what the value of that lead is. And so every day you're going to see that ticker pop up as more and more people engage with your posts.
That's pretty cool, because that's all, like you said, in social media, it's the same thing, your insights. But the part I like about is because of Raquel doesn't check in on with you, then you're going to feel it's like a service of, you know what I mean? It's not real. But if you're going to be on top of that person, say, what's going on? You've only posted. I'd be like, whoa, you know,
you don't want me to, get upset with you. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow. But it holds them accountable. That's what I like.
And I would love at some point, I think Joe and I had discussed this in the beginning, that I would love to kind of also reward those clients that really are like killing it on there and really are taking it so seriously that they're doing really well, that I would give them a shout out on my social media platforms, for instance. And, I would love to just kind of do those type of things too, to help them as well, because it helps when other people are talking about you. That's one of my prompts.
I know. I got to get used to that pointing. You both are always like this. Joe, what inspired you to do this? I know, Joe, you've been into social media a lot, but what inspired you to do this with the app? Was it just something you woke up one day and say, you know what, I'm going to build an app?
It's always been a dream of mine to build something from scratch. I've been a part of a couple startups and, but never in really early on at one of them, and helped grow it from a very tiny little seedling up to the giant behemoth it is today. But I never actually created anything from scratch. I just like to create things. And so it was one of those things that I really wanted to create, but more importantly, really wanted to help. And so we're a values-based organization. We value small businesses. We want to help promote them. We value these influencers, and we want to help them create a really great revenue stream based on monetizing their followers. But the other side of it is that we have an altruistic piece of this as well.
Yeah, I wanted you to share that.
Yeah. So
all right.
This is important to me, and this is important. I have 4 kids, and I've seen way too much struggle of other kids. Thankfully, not mine, knock on wood, but with social media, and we really feel like a duty to help clean up the internet as well, and make it a safer place for everybody who's participating in it. So, on top of what we're doing with helping these small business owners improve their lives and hopefully their businesses, we also are giving back a portion of our proceeds to Operation Underground Railroad to help end sex trafficking and sex slavery of children or youth. And because, look, if we don't do that, I feel like it's just filthy money. We have to make the world a better place better than we left it.
I love that.
Love it.
Yeah.
And Raquel,
yes,
you are active now, right?
Yes, I am officially the first coach to go live. I get a lollipop. I'm still waiting for it in the mail.
All right. So then walk us through the process. Right now, you know what, Raquel, I want you to be my coach while we're walking along the river. No.
And as I push you down the hill.
Push me down the hill. And I'm actually like strapped to this chair right now.
I know people are listening to this going, really? Do I really want to work with this woman? Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. It is. But what do you want to
well, there is kind of a process, and I'm glad that you asked that, because being that I am the first coach, my clients are the ones coming to me being like, hey, I have questions about this and that, which is, normal when it's brand new. So the first thing that you do need to do is to go to the coach's landing page. So I have a landing page, for instance, and I can put it up here, or Joe can do it while I'm talking about it.
I'll put it while you're talking.
Yeah. So you'll have to go to that particular website, that landing page, and sign up through there, do all the information, and then you download the app. And what's really cool is that the app is now available in the Apple iStore as well, or the App Store, as well as Google Play. So it's good for Android and iPhone.
Nice.
Yeah. So then once you download the app, it prompts you on how to kind of go through the process. Joe, is there anything that I'm missing in that?
Yeah, I just posted on David's live here. This is weird. I can see like myself on both screens right now because I pulled up LinkedIn.
Oh,
so I'm watching us live.
I tried that.
I'm not that savvy.
Yeah. So here's the thing. So Raquel's got a landing page that you can sign up for her. So you go create an account, and then it will have you confirm your email address. It takes like 2 seconds to do this. And then you download the app, and we give you the link to download it. So you just, from your email, click it, download the app, and then use the user ID and password that you just signed up with to sign into the app, and then you'll receive your first prompt right there. And so it's just like a 2-step process. There are 2 other things though that every entrepreneur should have, but they don't necessarily always do. But in order to make this effective for you to be able to post on Facebook, you have to have a business page for us to be able to post to. And that can be something as simple, and actually you can do it in the app. Like you can, if you don't have a business page already, if you don't have a business page already, we'll prompt you to create one as you're connecting your Facebook page. So most entrepreneurs already have one, and so we'll post your business page, and then you can share to your personal account from there. But then also within your Instagram, you'll want to have a professional account as well, and they're both free to have. There's no additional cost for you to do that. But in your settings on Instagram, you'll want to make yourself.
But you can change your personal, which this is actually pretty cool with Instagram. So with Facebook, you do have to do a separate business page. So then they are separate. But for instance, with Instagram, my best friend last night, she literally just changed her personal to a professional account. So it remained the same. It's not like anything like got erased or deleted and she had to start anew. She just changed the account. With Facebook,
you'll want to do that.
Yeah. Either way, I feel like everybody should have that.
The professional account gives you additional insights into your followers, where they're coming from, if they, what your reach is to
your
accounts that you don't follow. It's such powerful information that you get. And that's actually how we get some of the data to aggregate for you across all of your social channels to show your engagement scores. But it's really, whether or not, like for anybody that's listening to this today, please go and create yourself a professional account on Instagram. Like you need to have that data at your fingertips.
And do not have it on private. Don't, and like your original, you can't have it on private once it's professional, but right? I don't think you can, but either way, you should not have your account on private if you're actually trying to have visibility and have a presence and have a following. And that's one thing with my best friend. I go, get off of that private account. And somebody else too that was selling hair products and her account was on private. I told her, I'm like, you can block people, folks. Like, I think a lot of people get scared because it is public. Anybody can kind of go on there, but there is an option to block people. So, so yeah, get on public.
All right. My question, Mike. See, my brain's thinking pretty good today now. I think
you're doing great, man.
Normal. All right, so I'm going to draw a circle here. That's your app. We have Raquel, we have Joe, we have Sam. Is it going to be broken down into industries or what type of coaching? Or like Raquel, say if I wanted to utilize your service for, there's like, with the mortgages and everything like that, but you also will do for other companies. Do they have to put that into interest or something on the app? That makes sense.
Me, well, I know, and I get that because when I was doing my content prompts, I had to keep that in mind. So for instance, the fact that my best friend is a speech teacher or therapist and she's getting on there, I'm okay with that because I know that the content that I'm putting up and the prompts are for anybody in any industry, because I feel that I'm giving you ideas that anybody can use. But I know that there's other coaches on this app that are more industry specific, like mortgage and real estate. So they're probably going to attract those folks. So then they could probably be a little bit more detailed as far as the way they coach. They could actually start talking real estate mortgage, right? But for myself, I know that when Joe and I first spoke, that was my biggest concern. As I said, Joe, I'm not in that space anymore. Granted, a lot of people know me and I probably will get a lot of clients. I said, but I want to be able to attract all types of industries on this app. And that was where he was like, no, absolutely, because this is me coaching. Like what I put up is what I put up. Like it's not Joe telling me what to do or anybody else. So that's the great part of it, is that I have the liberty of saying whatever I want to say.
Joe, will that have on the app the choice on the landing platform? Will that have a choice, Joe?
Yeah. So each coach has their own landing page where they can. So you'll come across the coach that you want to work with, and that's who you'll sign up for. The eventual goal as we get more coaches on board is kind of like a master class, if you've heard of that company mentality, where you can we'll be able to match you. If you didn't already have a coach that you're working with, we'll do our best to match you with the correct coach. For now, it's just there's a simple form on there that says, "Hey, let us know who you are," and I'll call them. I'll call you personally. If you don't have a coach, I will call you literally on my phone, and I will find you the best coach that we have for what you're looking for. And but eventually, we'll be able to self-source and understand, see who they best match with online.
Which is great because, you want to feel connection with your coach, right? You want to be able to feel like, okay, I get where she's coming from, because I'm not going to be everyone's cup of tea. There might be people that are like, you know what, she maybe her prompts are a little bit too personal, or I have to be a little bit more vulnerable or transparent than I'm ready for. And that's okay too. I'm not going to take it personally. I just, like I said, this is the journey that I took to get to where I'm at, and that's what I'm sharing, just step by step. But it is difficult. I mean, that's why this app is fantastic, because I really feel like it's going to hold people accountable, and people want to know what to do. They just think
it gets
stunted.
Like, what are you going to do that day? What do you want to post today?
Yeah, and that's so many people. Yeah, and there's so many things that people don't even realize that they can post about. I mean, I prompt with ideas where I'm sure people were like, wait, she's asking me to post about that? Yeah, I am, because I've done it before myself, and it works.
All right. Well, I had a question for you, Joe, before we wrap this up is, do I get a discount since I've been having a little bit of, I say speech problems because of my fall? Do I get a discount from Raquel's friend to talk to me?
Oh, Nancy, she'll talk to you. My best friend, she'll help you out. She was already asking. Her and Joe were exchanging some information last night too. It was kind of funny.
Yeah, it's fun. She's great. I was having her diagnose my problems, and she said, she said I'm good. I'm okay.
Yeah.
But I do have a son that has a couple speech problems. So
because I'm getting nervous when we sign off here, I'm like, and I've just spoken to Raquel, and I'm like, what's going to happen today?
No, you've been great. But can I just say one more thing before we go? So one of the coolest parts about all of this as well is that Joe Wilson is an amazing person, like an amazing guy. And for me, it makes it even better. And I want to be successful, not just for myself, but for him as well, because it's like when you become friends with someone and you really know that they're coming from the best place and they have such a good heart, and he has a wife and kids, and he's such he's a family guy, and just his heart is in the right place, and what he's doing with the nonprofit to help, like that even for me fuels me even more. I mean, because he could have come at me and it could have been someone that I would have been like, maybe not so much, like, and I could have felt kind of weird about it, right? But in this case, from the beginning, I have trusted him. Anytime I pick up the phone and text or call him, he picks up. Like any question that I have, I can call him and ask. And there's something to be said about that. So for me, this entire experience so far has been fantastic. So like, no matter what happens with any of this, like just to know that I am like part of like Joe's dream essentially, and we've become friends, for me is like already, I feel like I've hit the jackpot. So
that is awesome. That's the truth.
You're too kind. You're too kind.
No, it's true though. So just saying, how to put it out there.
I can tell you two talk. You're like back and forth, and I'll get you. That your speech therapist needs to talk. No, I know. I know. I keep sitting there saying,
it's okay. We've been on here for a good 33 minutes. Your brain and your you guys, you need to go rest up a little bit.
Joe, if you had to wrap it up, can you just, how does somebody get a hold of with Social Coach? What's the process? What do they need to do?
Yeah, no, thank you for that, and thanks for having me on here, guys. This is it's super fun. I love doing this kind of stuff, and getting to talk to you both are amazing. And for the viewers, before we got on, so David and I share a last name, and we both hail from the same general area in Philadelphia. So we got to figure out if we're related somehow. We probably are.
That is funny. I didn't even think about that.
It is really funny. But, and we're going to figure it out because their ancestry.com is pretty cool. But no, I just to wrap it up, I would just say, first of all, thank you, Raquel. Those words were super kind, and just blessed to work with some really, really, truly amazing people. And it's like a dream.
I know all the other coaches are amazing too. Like it's such a good group of people.
Good group of peeps.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you're listening to this and you've somehow tuned in for 35 minutes and gotten to this point, reach out to me, DM me, put a message in here. Go to socialcoach.io, not .com. SocialCoach.com is an Australian dating tip site.
I know.
Well, that's what I asked. I text her. What is IO? No, it makes sense.
It's IO. It's IO. It's not .com.
Okay.
But go there if that's what you need. Like, go for it. Like, I'm sure it's fantastic. But socialcoach.io to reach out, and we can help you find the best coach. Raquel, though, is amazing. She literally, if you are in any industry and you want to have daily advice for something that works for literally anybody to help build your personal brand. I mean, she's been ultimately super successful with her businesses that she's been running. Do that. You can go, I put the link in the comments below. So it's app.socialcoach.io/Raquel, where you can sign up for her service. But call me, email me, DM me on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. All my contact information is out there. Just let's talk, and I'll help you get set up.
And I actually Googled SocialCoach App, and you're at the top.
It was.
Yeah, when I Googled it today, I was curious with the SEO and because of that social coach matching. But yeah, when I did it you guys, so I was like, yay.
and thank you for coming on, Joe. We really appreciate it. And for everybody, wow, 35 minutes. I think it's time to wrap up. And I just want to say thank you, everybody. Reach out to Joe. It's just
reach out to him anyways, folks. Like, you won't be disappointed. He's just such a great guy. Period. Yeah.
All right,
and get David hired. Hire this guy to hire people for you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. That's not a bad deal, because if we go hiring, coaching, speech therapist, we've got
a whole referral system going.
All the way through it. No, it's been a pleasure to meet you, and you're going to be back on. I have a feeling. So, all right, everybody. So we will talk to you soon. And I always like to do this to make sure. Oh, I forgot. Certain people on LinkedIn like to do all their fancy things at the end.
Oh,
she'll do her fancy smile or something. See, there we go.